This to me has always been the money shot in Gloucester. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to stop and resume because this is also the real touristy area of Gloucester. I'm in Gloucester Harbor. For native Massachusettsites, it's Gloucester Harbor. And I don't know if you can see it up there, but on the hill is Hammond Castle, built by the brilliant inventor John Hayes Hammond. I could do a whole video on him, but I imagine I'd have to ask permission to film anything at the castle. He was eclipsed by his peer, Edison. It's tough when you have that kind of competition. It's like, darn, I'm a brilliant inventor. Oh, look at who my peer is, Thomas Edison. Right, of course, that would happen to me. Anyway, he was a collector and admirer of European antiquities, and he designed and built a castle for himself and for his wife. And one of the fascinating things about the castle, there were hidden rooms, and I understand he was quite vain, but I've seen pictures. He was also quite handsome. And there was one area where he had a swimming pool, and he invented a way. This was an indoor swimming pool in the courtyard. And one of the things that he had invented was a way to control day and night and the weather. No, he's not a narcissist, is he? But anyway, also why I call this the money shot, I'll slowly move the camera around, is because I'm standing at the famous fisherman. And it's starting to get a little noisy around here. So I think what I'll probably do is start walking and tell you my story, because I do indeed have my own tale of my experience up here at wonderful Gloucester. Now, what my experience in Gloucester is that on Halloween 1991, I always come up to Salem and Gloucester for Halloween. The year before, I had found this amazing shell, and I was hoping to find a mate for it. I like to call it my half of my mermaid top. I saw a little bit of pink in the sand, and I started digging and kept digging and kept digging, and I found, I'll include a picture eventually, of a beautiful clamshell, and even the little sides were intact. It was a pinkish color, and it was huge. I never find shells like that, certainly not around here, intact. But anyway, your humble narrator, Clockwork Orange reference there for people who know me well, was up here for Halloween, and I had taken my mom up to Salem for Halloween, and we swung by here, and we noticed that the sea was getting awfully high. The waves were coming in really high. High as in, well, I'm at the seawall, and they were going way up over the seawall, way into the air, and we're starting to get a little bit nervous. And lo and behold, there was a young man standing next to me who said 2 weeks earlier he got a job on a fishing boat, and his captain said didn't like the look of the weather. And of course, anybody who's seen the movie The Perfect Storm, yes, it really did happen, knows that it took place on Halloween of 1991. And what happened was a convergence of 3 storm systems that came together, and it was just coincidence that they did, because it probably never should have ever happened, or something that would, the chances of it happening, well, I'll probably win the big lottery long before that chance would ever happen. But they were 3 dangerous fronts. They came together and created, as came to be known, the perfect storm. And I had said to the young man that I was speaking to that the first wave that jumped the seawall and hit my car, you can see how far away the vehicles are parked from the seawall. The first wave, they were banging the seawall and coming up, I would say, a good 6 feet in the air over the seawall. Well, one of them finally did come, and it reached my car and wet my car and drenched me. And I said, excuse me, I really do believe I have to go. He's like, no, really, I think you should. So I got in my car, and the tailwinds were so incredibly strong. I live about an hour and 10 minutes south of Gloucester. I think I got home in 50 minutes. Barely had to press the gas. And of course, I wanted to know what was going on. And I was listening to the radio, the AccuWeather on the radio. And not even 10 minutes after I left, the street that Gloucester Harbor is on is 127, Route 127. 10 minutes later, the news had said 127 was absolutely submerged in water. And I said, well, that was fortuitous of me to be smart enough to say, hey, once that wave comes over, I'm leaving, because I was really enjoying watching the front come in. I mean, if I had known there was going to be death and destruction, I wouldn't have enjoyed it, of course, but, who knew at that time what we were going to be facing? And it was really amazing to watch the storm front coming in. And so that is my Halloween tale from 1991. That was a lot scarier than Halloween or Salem. And that's my story and my encounter with the perfect storm.